Welcome, everyone, to the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200, brought to you here tonight on the IWM Broadcast Network. As always, here in the booth, myself, Rick Souza, and John DeRudris. And John, this is the last race of their regular season, and there are some opportunities for playoffs.
Lots of opportunities for a lot of drivers out there who can get a win that are outside that point bubble to make their way into the championship picture. So a lot on the line here, just like what's going to be on the line this upcoming Saturday with the actual Cup Series that is running, finishing at Daytona with just the historic elements of the track and being the last playoff race here. It's going to be an action-packed night that we have here for the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. So right now it looks like we have about 2.5 minutes left of practice time with Bennett topping the charts. And right after that should be a 5-minute qualifying run, which looks like some drivers are actually attempting to do right now. So we'll see in a few minutes what they have in store when it comes to qualifying. But Rick, I think it's going to be an exciting night of racing. Love watching these guys. Love that we're able to be a broadcast partner with them, and excited to see some hard-fought racing here at Daytona. And look at that. I think they're a team. Do you think?
You think?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. But teamwork's going to be so important here at Daytona, like it always is, Rick. So let's talk about that. You know, can somebody win without being a part of a team or having a teammate help them, or is it almost every man for themselves in the last race?
I don't think you can do it by yourself. You've got to have someone there that can get behind you and push you. This is Daytona. This is Daytona. You need to have someone that's there to draft with you. Without the draft, you are sunk. You'll see times like in the 50s, but once you are in a pack, those times, as you can see on the board, drop to the mid 46 second. It's huge. You can't do it by yourself.
You sure can't. And we've already seen some intense action on the track. A little bit of a pusher being pushed, which typically doesn't work, and it did not work when we saw that. But all cuffs are off. This is going to be all gloves off. Everything off. This is the last race. This is your last chance if you're beneath that playoff bubble to make it in. So about a minute left to go here before we hit qualifying.
Let's bring up the current playoff standings and take a peek at what we've got here. So currently playoff standings, you've got Jeffrey Brogdon. He is currently, he's right there. Travis Bennett, Jordan Wetzel, Alex Murphy, Corey Bunch, Jay Schultz, Simon Bagman, Martin Giroux, Jeremy Briggs. They've all won their end. Eric Jeffers, he's 10th. He's pretty safe. Richard Mills, Vince Burns, Michael Whitley, Jared Audette, Tony Japs, Josh Douglas. Now Josh is on the bubble, and Vernon Broadbeck is right behind him. Matt Allen is not far. Those guys, the current guys who are 17th and 18th, they're within striking distance of pointing their way in.
Be close, especially for that last spot with only 13 positions truly separating Josh Douglas and Vernon Broadbeck. If anything happens, oh wow, there's a wreck. If anything happens with those guys, 13 positions, is with a field this size can happen. You can lose 13 spots in a heartbeat if somebody has a bad day. So if either one of them have a bad day, somebody could potentially be locked in. I think Matt Allen's going to have to win. Scott Thomas, Mitchell Roberts. I think they're all going to have to win to get in. So I think that last spot is really going to be between, if Jared Audette has a good or bad day, Tony Japs. Everybody plus 55, I think, could be locked in based off of how they point specific races here. But I think it's going to be a hard battle for that last, 3 spots there. Qualifying looks like about to get underway here. Got some cars on the track for a 5-minute qualifying run, 2 laps here around the Daytona International Speedway. There's Mr. Simon right there. Simon, imagine he has a win on the season. Currently, if you're looking at point standings, he is currently 7th in the playoff run. So he's locked in, looking to possibly get another victory to join Jay Schultz and Corey Bunch and Alex Murphy with 2 wins apiece.
So Daytona is obviously a classic track. Everyone would call that sometimes the birthplace of NASCAR, but it's not an easy track. It's not pretty much just put your foot in it and go around fast. I mean, there's a lot of finesse to working your way through this and around this track, especially when you've got a pack of 20 plus cars with you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you have half the field basically right now looking for a win and wanting to win because it's not just, Eric Jeffers, he's in 10th, Richard Mills, Vince Burns, those guys pretty much locked in on points. But winning here at Daytona, last race of the season, it's a big momentum boost, and momentum matters a lot when it comes to racing here in any kind of racing. So carrying that momentum going into the first race of the chase, of the playoffs, so important. Doesn't matter who you are. Even if you're Brogdon, who has 7 wins on the season, still having momentum to go forward is very important. Looking at the board right now, it looks like Debt is at the top of the board. Talked about him a little bit before. There's Josh Douglas in 3rd, but there's Vernon Broadbeck, the 2 guys we were talking about. That's going to be the battle to watch. Vernon Broadbeck and Josh Douglas right now, 1st and 3rd on the tower. Very close times here at Daytona, but let's talk about qualifying really quick. We have a few buddies who are really, really strong when it comes to Super Speedway qualifying. One of those going to say hello to Mr. Matt Swope, Mr. IWM, if you want to consider that. It's probably going to go to his head now. You have to get it right. You have to keep it consistent. A lot of times, you have to get it right on the first lap, right?
Absolutely. So speaking of that, let's talk about a couple of things. One, let's go over the current track conditions for tonight's event.
Alrighty, so it looks like we got 80 laps. Stage break on 26, interesting number there, but got a stage break. Choose roll, obviously in effect for the leader with 1 fast repair. 50% fuel, that's going to be very, very important. That means you could probably go around 20 laps, I would say. 1 fast repair, 6 sets of tires here. And let's pay attention to something. It is 75 degrees, quite a bit of humidity, and the track temp's at 95. So it's not a terrible track temp, but right now with 75-degree skies outside, it may be slightly slick if these guys end up going 2 or 3 wide, which I obviously will think will happen. But there's some of the track facts here for tonight's Pitstop Popcorn 200. Making a pit road entry right there, trying to get some practice in.
Well,
yeah, that's also important.
That is hugely important, especially here. You're coming off that turn 4, and you're diving down, and you're doing it in a pack. You need to have as much of a feel for what's going to happen and when getting down onto pit road.
Sure, it's going to matter, especially if you're with teammates. That's probably one of the toughest things to do here at a super speedway, especially Daytona, is how is everybody going to pit together? If you have 3-4 cars, you have to kind of, really orchestrate that to where somebody doesn't lock it up and everybody knows what lane they're going into, whether it's the front driver calling the low, the second driver calling high, the second or third driver calling low, and the fourth driver calling high. So yeah, that's a big one that we see all the time. It affects cup drivers. I mean, I went to the Talladega race earlier this year, and we saw that with some drivers too. So it's important. Saw it in Nashville with Tyler Reddick. Getting on and getting off pit road is so important. So here we go, Rick. I think we got the grid. Let's see what the starting order for tonight's iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200 season finale, regular season finale, that is. Looks like actually this is the warm-up. Forgot to do a warm-up, which is the driver's meeting.
We may have a grid. Let's just see if we've got a grid yet.
It may wait until warm-up.
It will. The grid will wait until warm-up to populate. So we'll just see what warm-up looks like. See what drivers are out there. But in the meantime, let's talk about John's keys to tonight's race.
Yes, keys to today's race. So when it comes to Daytona, obviously, I mean, the one that is at number 3, it's going to be survival. You have to survive. I think that's also, always a big point to make. But one that I think is even more important than that can and be teamwork. You have to have your team with you at all times, getting on pit road, getting off pit road, really from lap 1. You have to know where those guys are, and you have to be able to work your way around the other drivers and get with your teammate, because nobody wants to be out front with a non-teammate behind you when it comes to the white flag. Number 2, talking about pit strategy. We mentioned it before. Pit strategy is going to matter, making sure you have enough fuel for the end, and if we have any green-white checkers at the end, that's going to be important as well. And also getting on and getting out of pit road. Those two things are not easy to do. We see it all the time, drivers spinning out of pit road or losing it on the apron of 1 and 2. That's very important. So pit strategy, you have to master that. And then, it's a super speedway, Rick. You got to survive. You got to make it to the end to be able to even race and battle for anything. Even, there are so many times where you could do everything right, and in the last corner get taken out or get caught up in somebody else's mess. So it's always the risk, but it's always a great reward if you're able to win here. That's why it's so important. So those are my 3 keys: teamwork, pit strategy, and survival. Let's see who's going to be that one driver to make it in to the playoffs here tonight in the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Also, popcorn sounds really good right now. I think very fitting sponsor for a super speedway race.
Absolutely. And Pitstop Popcorn is the Southern Tier's original all-popcorn food truck, serving a wide variety of popcorn flavors at local festivals, fairs, corporate events, and private gatherings. They serve classic favorites like theater-style popcorn, kettle corn, caramel corn, cheddar popcorn, dill pickle, and so many more.
Oh, wow.
Yep, pop fresh daily in small batches with dozens of rotating flavors. Our popcorn is nothing like you'll find on the store shelf. So if you're looking for popcorn and you happen to be in the New York area, I think it's Appalachian, New York, check out the Pitstop Popcorn website and get yourself some popcorn.
Sounds good. Sounds really good right now.
It does.
Actually, looking at
that
that
snack, I feel left out.
I do too. That cheddar popcorn. When you said dill pickle, and I was like, but the cheddar one, I was like, oh yeah, there we go. That's the good stuff right there.
Yeah, I've kind of over the years, I just I always thought kettle corn was like I'd never like, but over the last few years, I've kind of grown. It's grown on me.
Yeah, it's good.
Sweet, a little salty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Got the best of both worlds, and seems like I know at least when I go to a theater, and sometimes whether if I get even not a theater, but it always seems to be more satisfying with kettle corn. I don't know. It's weird. Not saying that regular popcorn is boring by any means, but kettle corn is just always that good mix between sweet and salty, and you're not gasping for a big glass of water afterwards.
That's right.
For regular popcorn. Yep.
So it doesn't look like anybody took up the banner of getting any practice in. There probably was a drivers' meeting going on. This is their last race of their regular season. So with 43 seconds left, I think we'll go live. And again, at 80 laps, there is that stage break at lap 26. Also, there is a leader choose rule. So that leader has the option here of going high or low. And I tell you, there's a lot to be said now with the current model that outside lane with a good group of pushers and followers can really lay it down.
Oh, they can, and it's a scary in a good way. It's a scary thing that is such a strong strategy to use, because in these cars the side drafts are so big that you can get a huge run to the outside and really overtake that bottom lane, especially at a track like Daytona where the lanes are not as wide, obviously, and the track's not as wide as a Talladega where you could have 3, possibly 4 lanes. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and it looks like we have finally our starting order for tonight's iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Here, look at all those beautiful cars getting ready for the season finale, the regular season finale here. Brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. On the pole, we have Jay Schultz there in the number 27 with Richard Mills to his outside starting in P2. Martin Giroux starting in third out of Canada, with Eric Jeffers starting in fourth. In fifth, our very own Ty Bostic, NBT Motorsport driver, regular season champion of the Tech for Troop Cup Series that just wrapped up last night with Travis Bennett to his outside. Jeremy Briggs starting in seventh, Alex Murphy in eighth, Corey Bunch in ninth, and Simon Madgen starting in 10th.
Jared Audette is in 11th. Vernon Broadbeck is in 12th. In 13th, Jordan Wetzel. 14th, Michael Whitley. 15th, Garrett Walden. 16th, Dan Hughes. Eric Thomas is in 17th. To the outside, Josh Douglas in 18th. In 19th, Martin Pinnell. And 20th, Scott Thomas. Wrapping the back two parts of the field, Tony Japs is in 21st. Matt Allen is in 22nd. And Jeff Brogdon is in 23rd. Kind of lost my train of thought there. There's a lot to be said. I was kind of thinking ahead of that. We've seen in a lot of other series, and right now this current track is this what we're coming to on Sunday, but it's also the track of the week in iRacing, and so many drivers have chosen either not to qualify or to, let's just say, adjust their qualifying to get to the back to try to avoid sometimes the aggressiveness and just the dance that takes place at 200 miles an hour in these cars.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad plan, and I actually totally forgot that, we are here at Daytona in the actual Cup Series, and that's the official track of the week. I may have to hop on either today or tomorrow, sometime this weekend, get a couple races in there. But yeah, I mean, it is going to be a battle to the end, especially for all the drivers out front. So I think starting out back could be a strong strategy. Only 23 cars, but 20 any number amount of cars at Daytona is going to be important. But starting in the back could be the way to go. May have a little bit of teamwork that's going on back there, but the other side of this is you could start in the front and avoid all the chaos, or you could become the chaos if somebody gives you too big of a push, or who knows what could happen. It's Daytona.
Yeah.
Yep.
The aero model has certainly changed recently with this car, so they are a bit more squirrely, but we're about to find out just how squirrely they are.
Here we go. Pace car dips off there in the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the season finale for the iNASCAR series in the Pitstop Popcorn 200. And we are off. All the 23 drivers out here battling, going into turn one. Let's see what is going to unfold. You see a little bit of a tighter line on the high side.
Yeah, a little bit of contact in the back. We're not even one lap in, and there's a little bit of bumping.
Little bit of bumping, as expected here at Daytona.
Good push by the 12. That is Eric Jeffers pushing Richard Mills.
Kind of lost touch there. You don't want to push somebody in the wrong part of that rear bumper, because we've seen it, saw it yesterday in the Tech for Troop Cup Series. If you get somebody off center and push them, it is almost like ice. Like, there's nothing that front car can do. But we're one lap in, 80 laps here at Daytona. Glad everybody's tuned in to watch this. I'm excited. Actually, just got some popcorn brought to me, Rick. How about that? It made me hungry.
Yeah. We'll call down to the booth and have them send to the truck and have them send us some stuff up.
Yeah. It's only fitting. Everybody can eat some popcorn up here in our booth and at home, and rep some of the sponsors. Oh, low line definitely stacked up there. Going to stack up in the middle of the pack. It's going to cause some possible three-wide action. Middle on back. Looks like everybody's able to keep it. No, we're clean.
We're wrecking.
Or dirty.
Wrecking.
Yep, that was not a clean situation that happened back there. We saw it form when they got out of turn 4. The 50 car checked up there on the low line, which caused everybody to stack. Need to take back and see what happened there. That's the 14 of Jeff Brogdon. So, let's talk about Jeff really quick. I guess if you ever watched any of these races with the eye, iNASCAR series. He's won 7 times, so it's not like he's in any, shambles right now. But let's see what happened.
Trying to get back to yellow flag here, see if this brings us what we need. If not, we'll jump back a little bit farther. Oh, there we are. Let's back up. Looks like he was the 127 of Matt Allen may have made contact. Let's back up just a little bit here. So it's like the low line does check up a bit. And a blinking car right in front of the 127 reappears. That's the 14 of Jeff Brogdon. So he drops in, winds up in the same car as 127. So I know that's a wreck and a lot of guys were involved, but it's almost a function of the net code.
Just a little bit. I mean, it looked like the contact was going to happen anyways, but major net code there when we saw the 2 cars basically intertwine. I mean, the contact was there. I mean, you could see how far the 127 was in the 14s. Really, I mean, all the way up to the windshield there, the front windshield, and just spun him around and unfortunately collected another driver. That is the 6 of Dan Hughes.
All right, so we are seeing the drivers on pit road. Number have found their way down onto pit road.
Bad idea. See our good friend Ty Bostic there in the number 22.
So this is a pretty good strategy. I've seen this play out many times. A lot of different series that, take every opportunity to come in, top off your fuel tank, get back out. You just never know when you're going to wind up in a long stretch. Now, even though it's only been 4 laps, pretty much 3/4 of the field came in and got fuel.
Yeah, I mean, you have no clue what's going to happen at the end of the race. These 5 laps may save some drivers' chances of making it into the playoffs, depending on how the fuel situation ends up at the end. If we go green here, I think that one pit stop that these drivers have made could push them over the edge to where they can run all the way to the end once they make that last stop. So I like the move. I think it's important. And we'll see how everybody stacks up here with 76 to go. Kind of a shorter Daytona race. This mirrors kind of what we see sometimes. Not quite as long, but sometimes with the officials opens when it comes to what iRacing does. So still not a entirely long race. I think, Rick, how many laps was last night's race with the Tech for Troop Cup Series?
110.
110. So yeah, a little bit longer, a little bit of a longer track there.
But still,
still,
these guys have 50% fuel, slightly less. So with 50% fuel, we've got to kind of figure out what that fuel window is. Kind of hard. We got this yellow flag that just dropped in, but for those guys that did not pit, you got to figure, is it 20 laps maybe on a tank of fuel? So
yeah, that's what I'm envisioning. I'm envisioning about 20. So we'll see. Should get lights out on the pace car this time by, which means 1 to go. Lights are off. Mills chooses the bottom lane for the restart. Don't blame him. I like the bottom. It's I don't want to say the safer option, but it's definitely the option where you have nowhere else to go because you're going to have that top line, and the bottom can be the preferred line for the majority of the race.
Well, and you although you're out front, you're leading, it still is an opportunity for a bailout too. And if you do wind up coming up on a lap car, always safer on the low line.
For sure. Yeah, and let's talk about the bailout really quick. It's very important, at least when I am behind the wheel, that I have an option to, if I need to go down to the apron, I'm going to go down to the apron if there's a wreck in front of me. And yes, you do run the risk of somebody running to the back of you, but 10 times out of 10, those cars are going to be drifting back up the track, so the high line is so much more dangerous. So the low line is and can be the safer option.
Well, as the field makes their way back around, we'll get this race back underway here at Daytona.
Also, got to mention a lot of good paint schemes. I love the Oreo scheme by Mr. Mills.
Yep, and that outside, is it the 12 with Eric Jeffers? Great looking paint scheme. You know, really, you can tell the guys put some hard work into getting their cars to look good for this race.
Exactly. Look good on the track, look good for the broadcast, and everybody tuning in. Thank you, everybody who is watching and possibly rewatching this. And it looks like we have green flag action back here at Daytona. 7 laps complete, almost 10% of the way through, and that maybe some, I don't know if that was team orders, but pretty synchronized there, I would say.
Yep, this field has already broken out. 5 cars out front, single line. If they can hold it together, they can certainly find their way around, but nope. But Richard Mills has already jumped out. Travis Bennett, I think now is, let's grab a better shot there. Yeah, Travis Bennett, that's your leader in the 01 to 12, but Eric Jeffers behind. Corey Bunch is up there. Scott Thomas, Martin Giroux.
Left. Mills out to dry. Those top 4 cars were like, see you later. And Mills is already taking his way back up and dropped down to the 5th car in the low line. Got some stack-up action happening up on the top. Kind of mid-pack.
Oh,
see if that affects anybody. And are we wrecking? I don't think we are. Everybody
not
looks
wrecking,
clean.
but certainly there is some right side damage, I think, to the 30. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, you can brush the wall here.
You can, and it will mess with the aerodynamics, which you will need here at Daytona. Especially with these next-gen cars, everything is symmetrical, so you want to make sure your car is dent-free.
So as you can see, these drivers are working their way up. They're weaving. They're making changes. They're going up to the high line, using that, diving back low when they can. But now we've got 2 distinct packs that have formed. There's about a 2-second gap between this group of approximately 14 drivers, then the balance of the field towards the back, a couple seconds back.
Exactly. And that top line has formed with 5 cars. They've been able to side draft effectively, and that's being led by the 79 of Scott Thomas. He's up there in that high line trying to get something going, and it's working. Inch by inch, he's able to make his way up to the front here and have another car joining the high side all the way in the back. So we'll see as these lines start to what looks like almost even out here, who's going to prevail. I mean, obviously, I think these guys are going to go side by side quite a while. But still, it's what we talked about, Rick. That high line is very, very dangerous.
It sure is. So big mover on the high line. That's the 79 of Scott Thomas. He is up 17 positions. He's currently in 3rd.
Almost to the lead. He's almost there.
All right, 10 laps in. Seeing some great racing by these iNASCAR drivers. They're stretching out a little bit farther from that tail gap, being led by Jeremy Briggs, as that pack is a little bit farther back.
Here comes this outside line, Rick. That 79 is almost nose to nose with, little bit of a push on the bottom. Got that 01 upset, but here comes the 79 side by side for the lead here coming to lap 12. Looks to just be more organized on the high side.
Yeah, definitely more. And this is what we were talking about earlier. You've really got to be lined up with the guy you're pushing or or you're right behind. Even if you're just taking advantage of his air, you've really got to be aligned, because if not, one small wrong push and you're gonna collect the whole field, and we'll have the big one.
Maybe that's why some of these guys in the back have dropped off, because they know the tensions are going to be high. I mean, they're all lined up back there. They obviously have some strategy going. So we'll see how those guys end up going. But you have Thomas up there on the high line with Giroux right behind him.
Day in Florida based on our race. I wish we had the same weather here in the Carolinas.
Yeah, looks heard from somebody in the booth, you're getting a little bit of rain.
We are getting hammered here in broadcast. We are, so we're crossing our fingers. So Travis Bennett is out in front in the 01. Eric Jeffers, Corey Bunch, Jordan Wetzel, Scott Thomas, Richard Mills, Martin Giroux, Josh Douglas, Jai Schultz, and Ty Bostic. That's your top 10.
We got a mover. I believe that is Richard Mills jumping to that high line, trying to reclaim what was his lead. Oh, little misaligned bump there from the high line. Got him a little bit jumbled up. Still able to hold it.
Easy to do, easy to do. This is one of those tracks with these cars, you can definitely go too wide, but it gets really slow. Trying to go 3 wide around this track. Oh,
a little blink.
Yeah, that's the 12 of Eric Jeffers. She's definitely got some. When you hear us use the term blinking, or you see the car winking in and out, that's basically, this is a computer simulation, so that's basically his connection to the iRacing servers and his participation in the race. That's a disconnect. And unfortunately, it manifests itself just like that, which is very disconcerting to the guy who's probably right behind him at 200 miles an hour.
It is. And that's the nature of super speedways, and that's the nature of the beast when you get here.
Why don't we go on board with Jordan Wetzel? Let's see what Jordan's singing. Now you're on board with Jordan from his driver cam. You're seeing what he's seeing. That's, look up in the upper right-hand corner. That's his rear view mirror. It's full of cars. And he doesn't have a whole lot of forward vision. You're kind of driving relatively blind. Your field of view is pretty much the tail end of the car in front of you.
Exactly. So if anything happens in front of him, you have to have quick reactions. You have to be able to just make that split-second decision to let off the gas or go to the inside or the outside. See what happens. Looks like we have a car dropping off that main low line. But yeah, I mean, it's tough, especially when you're side by side, nose to tail, and if you have 3 lanes, you're really just locked in to how it races. Now you can do some things to manipulate the other cars around you. You can side draft. You can get close to the car in front of you to create more momentum for the cars behind you and in front of you in your lane. You can back off a little bit. I mean, there's so many different things you can do, and one car really can't affect the whole field and the whole lane. I mean, look at that. The outside lane right now is now broken down to just 4 cars, and they're really just relying on side drafting right now.
Well, lap 18 of 80 is complete, and we're going to start thinking that those few drivers who did not pit, that was your leader, Travis Bennett, Eric Jeffers, Corey Bunch, Jordan Wetzel, Richard Mills, and Scott Thomas, they did not come in. They will be pitting earlier than everybody else. I expect to see them down here in just a couple laps. Probably stretched out maybe a little bit because we did have a number of caution laps in there, but still, I'm guessing between lap 20 and 25.
It's gonna happen pretty soon here. I'm right there with you, Rick. My calculations say about 20 with 50% fuel, maybe a little bit on the earlier side, so 19. But obviously we had those 5 laps of caution there. So here we go, 3 wide in the back though.
Yeah, a lot of moving and shaking towards the back of this front pack. There are 3 wide.
Wenzel getting a little bit squirrely there on the bottom.
It looks like that that farther group is now even farther back, over 12 seconds behind this pack. So this group is actually moving, they're separating themselves from the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy. I mean, making up that much time is quite the feat to do, because they've lost over a second already on this lap, and I think that's just too much time. You should be back, just a few seconds. You shouldn't be back, almost a quarter of the track. So we'll see what happens now. Who's going to come down pit road?
Yeah, very often you got to assume that there's a couple of things happening back there. You can only be time positive when you've got cooperation amongst everybody else. You've got to have people that understand that you've got to hang together.
And right now, purely by the deltas, it looks like the second car in that
the
very
14,
far pack.
That's the 14 up top. He's about to go a lap down. That's Jeff Brogdon. He's on that outside. He's about to be our first car a lap down. And a little bump in the back that the 8 contacted the 10 while going past the 14.
And they're going to be, that middle car is going to be kind of sucked back because that high line of really the one car, the 14. So they're battling 3 wide off the
Here we go. Here's
down
those pits.
Pit stops.
That's almost all the drivers now. Interesting enough, Scott Thomas chose to stay out by himself. He was on the same pit strategy as these guys, which is interesting. So he is out there by himself, and he is probably needing to come into the pit.
I think per some radio communication. Oh, big checkup. Is he out of gas? Scott Thomas is out of gas. Scott Thomas, what was the leader, is out of gas coming out of turn 3.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We were just talking about that.
It looks like he should be able to make it around, but...
Is he going to coast in? Is that his goal here, to make it all the way in?
I guess so. He's going to lose a lot of time, though, Rick.
Luckily he did pit farther back in the field, so he will be able to make it to his pit stop. But unfortunately for Scott, he is going to be pitting by himself. Might as well get tires, because it's going to be a lengthy pit stop getting all that fuel in that car.
Looks like we have some other drivers making a scheduled stop. Should be. See if anybody drops down. No, nobody taking.
I think we've got about 3 laps. 3 laps for the rest of those drivers to come back down. So you got a new leader. Josh Douglas has moved out to the front. Of course, you're seeing the 14 out front. He's a lap down. But Josh Douglas in the 8th is your leader, followed by Alex Murphy, Vernon Broadbeck, and Ty Boston.
With Ty Boston in that high line, trying to get something going. Seeing what he's able to do.
Yeah, with only 2 cars up there, that's not going to work. He's going to end up dropping back to the end of this single line he's got here, and hopefully he's got to catch up, because he's going to lose the draft.
He definitely will, so we'll see when this field starts to come down pit road, what the strategy is, because we have two distinct strategies going right now.
At least one driver coming down. That's Martin Pinnell coming into pit road. Back up front with our leaders. We expect to see them. Then again, they're going to have to come down to getting in that single line. You really can't hit from that outside line without knowing everybody else to your inside's going in. So if you're going to go in, this is the way to go in right here. Dan Hughes, Michael Whitley also on pit road.
Exactly. So let's see who decides to break off. The rest of the field.
Now remember, you got
about 30 seconds back.
Well, let's not lose sight of the fact that you've got a stage break coming up, and by these guys going in on lap 4 for fuel, huge move.
There you go. Yo, yeah, make. Oh, I totally didn't think about that, Rick. I totally forgot about the stage break on 26. So that caution, it's going to be very close for these guys. We'll see if they can make it.
Well,
I think they can.
Caution, I'm guessing, should come out. Stage break.
Still racing right now. As they make their way
14's going to get
out
his
of turn
back.
4. Looks like he will get his lap back. And the 8 will, I guess, quote unquote, take the victory for the stage and should see a caution, or it may. Do they run it all the way through?
I don't know.
That wouldn't make any sense to.
Yeah, we thought there was a stage break at lap 26.
I know that the admin has closed pit lane entrances.
Okay. So usually that happens within 2 laps. So maybe they extended that that stage break due to that early caution.
There comes a 30 below the elbow. It's almost contact.
That's Alex Murphy going up under the 8.
The 8's out of gas. 8's out of gas.
Oh, and he's missed the pit.
Oh, goodness.
Caution's out. But that is not going to help Josh Douglas. He is going to have to tow his way back in. If I'm Josh Douglas, I am not going to drive around continuously here. I'm going to jam on the brakes and tow, because every second you can save, you'll get to the you get back to your pit.
I mean, unless somebody gives him a push.
Oh, he's going to wind up on the backstretch with no one around him.
And that has major playoff implications, Rick. I mean, that is the last spot for the playoffs. We talked about it. If one of these drivers has a bad day, they could be locked in or they could be out. And right now, this would almost put Vernon Broadbeck in the catbird seat to take that last spot.
All right, caution's out here. This is a scheduled stage break here. We're seeing a number of drivers headed down pit lane. I expect to see the entire field on pit road, with the exception of, well, I take that back. Alex Murphy, Jay Schultz, Josh Douglas, Simon Magden, Martin Giroux, those guys hadn't pitted since lap 4. So,
if Josh Douglas is still on the track, Rick, I think Brogdon is out of gas now. Is that, or not Broadbeck?
Alex Murphy, 30.
Yep.
Where's the pace car?
Pace car is currently in the middle of 1 and 2, I think. Or are they in the middle of 3 and 4? Middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're seeing a number of drivers who tried to stretch out their fuel, and it is unfortunately not going to work out. We're following Alex Murphy from the chopper.
Another car out of gas.
Another car out of gas.
17. I think it's a 17.
That is the 17 as well.
I believe it was.
Nope.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on pit road.
So Josh Douglas, where did he end up in all of this, Rick? I don't see him. He is stopped. He has not made his way back to pit road. He is going to stop before the entrance, Rick. This is not good for Josh. And he's wasting so much time right now.
Yeah, he definitely needs a push to get back in. I don't think there's.
And if you look, go really quick. You see the 30 about to join the picture. There he is, right behind him. These guys both out of gas. And there goes all the helpers just right around them.
Yep. Well, I mean, if you're on that bubble and you're looking for a way in, and you got to be careful here if you are going to give somebody a push. Any little damage to your nose will just kill you. So these guys are coming to a dead stop. They're not going to make it back to their pit. There's no way. The 30's got Josh just towed to his pit.
Gosh.
As you know,
he wasted so much time, and now he's down 2 laps, Rick, already. Where's Vernon Broadbeck? Sitting right there in 4th position. That would put Vernon in to the playoffs and move Josh Douglas out.
Well, there's still 50 laps to go, 5 laps to go. Let's see what these guys can do to get themselves back up into contention.
I mean, I think Josh is going to be multiple laps down, and unless something happens to Vernon, something catastrophic, if I'm Josh, I'm going to run this to the end just in case something happens.
Number of drivers coming in, topping off for fuel, I'm sure. Travis Bennett, Tony Japs, Jared Audette. Jeff Brogdon, 14, back on pit road. Number of drivers are getting now the wave around the pace car. It's going to be very interesting how this field stacks back up. We're going to wait for the NASCAR and the iRacing scoring tower to kind of put this back together for us. You saw a very interesting event here. We had a scheduled stage break around lap 26. We had an early caution around lap 4. We saw some drivers come in, and I think they probably felt that they had enough gas to make it through to the stage break at that point. However, that stage break did not fall until lap 26 or 27. And by that time, unfortunately, a couple of competitors, Alex Murphy and Josh Douglas, they were out of gas.
Really unfortunate for those guys, and Josh Douglas still on pit road, now 3 laps down as the field's going to come to get the green flag this time by. So it's going to be an uphill climb, but we'll see what happens.
Well, with 50 laps to go, we thank you for tuning in to the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. This is the last regular season event here in this series. And from this point on, they move into the playoffs. Number of drivers have locked themselves in with wins or multiple wins, but there's still a number of drivers that are working their way up to get themselves in via points. And also, it's anybody's race to win here and get themselves into the playoff as well.
Yeah, it looks like I thought we were going to get the green flag. Looks like Josh Douglas extended the caution by 1 lap.
Well, the lights are off on the pace car now, so next time by, we'll be going back to green. Josh Douglas is out. Martin Bedell still is out. And the rest of the drivers, Bostic, Walden, Audette, Whitley, and Allen are now out. So we've got what appears to be, I think, about 5 drivers who are laps down. Bennett, Japs, Alex Murphy are 1 lap down. Pinnell and Douglas are 2 laps down. I think for what happened with Josh Douglas being only 2 laps down is actually a good thing. You would almost expect more. Luckily, it was under caution.
Exactly. I mean, that's really lucky. I mean, it really is, because that's 2 cautions. Now he's going to have to battle back. He obviously can't get the lucky dog until he's now 1 lap down, but he could get waves. But it's going to be an uphill climb for that number 8 machine.
Yeah. Now, if you're watching it, that happens again to you, our advice would be stop. If you need to tow, just don't prolong the inevitable. Just tow in, take your lumps. It's going to cost you a couple minutes for towing, and you'll get your you'll get your fuel and tires and get back out. Maybe not 2 laps down, but certainly a better opportunity to be closer.
Oh yeah, you got a tow in that situation. But here we go. About to get green flag action back here at Daytona in the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Green flag in the air, and Josh Schultz taking the lead.
That's the 5 of Richard Mills on the outside in that Oreo car. He's by himself out there. Oh, very good. He ducks back in.
And the 12 decides to leave Mr. Schultz. And everybody leaves Mr. Schultz. Everybody move to the high line. Like, see you later.
Oh, he's got some blinking going on in the race. That's the 12 of Eric Jeffers. He's got Corey Bunch in the 93 behind him, and Corey Bunch has a windshield full of blinking car.
It's not what you want to see at all. If you're anybody, blinking field, a blinking car can cause some chaos, as we've seen.
Majority of the field you see is on that low line. They're hugging that yellow line as they're trying to snake their way around through this back stretch. Just a few takers on that high line. They can work their way back up the front, but they've got to get organized.
Got to get organized, and got to get organized quick if they want to have any chance. And it looks like they have. They've gotten a little bit better up there. So we'll see how this plays out as this race unfolds. High line, big charge. Big charge to the high line, even about 17. And now here comes another taker. That's the 10 machine of Vernon Broadbeck, a guy who needs to at least finish ahead of Josh Douglas by 13 positions. Right now he has that accomplished. And here comes the 0-1 to the outside. Here's the action we've been waiting for, folks. 2 by 2 by 2, and a pusher's getting pushed. Oh, hold on. And we're wrecking, big wreck. Nowhere to go, 10's involved, 76 involved. There it is, Rick. The big one.
All right, we'll unpack that for you.
I believe we caught that one too. Look at that.
We caught a good bit of it. Martin Pinnell is involved, Dan Hughes, Jared Audette, Vernon Broadbeck. Broadbeck is involved as well.
Yeah, that's good news for Josh, bad news for Vernon.
Yep, we'll see. Of course, these drivers, I believe they do have one fast repair. They can kind of get back out there. Let's see if we can pick that up and just see what happened. Oh, let's back that up just a little bit. We're going to kind of sit back here a bit on the 76 of Audette and let this play out a bit here. You got Ty Bosick right there behind the 76. You can see contact up at the front, and you've got car in the wall. Comes back
Comes back
down.
down.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a 10. Contacts a 17. 50 is right there. No place to go. He backs out of the throttle. 76 does as well. And now the 10 spins. 79, nowhere to go.
And Ty Bostic right here looking at everything is like, oh my gosh, I'm surrounded. What do I do? Does he make it through this clean, Rick?
I don't know. I'm looking.
Oh,
He's
this
got.
is tight. If he can clear that 79,
Nope.
he doesn't clear it, gets hooked. I guess that's net code.
Hook? No, that's all hook. Definitely contact there. Winds up in the door of the 6.
Could have been worse, though.
Way worse. Way worse. It's like he was hooked, but not all the way turning into the wall. So lots of damaged race cars here for our big one, which has occurred here. Lap 36. A lot of guys are making their way in the pits. We've got a number of drivers in on pit lane now, getting work done.
Rick, we knew it was going to happen. It was coming. I mean,
yep.
Yeah. I mean, they were side by side, and you know, it kind of felt like the storm was brewing a little bit. You know, reaching a halfway point. I've been part of many races on super speedways where it seems like kind of around the midway point, people just kind of get a little bit antsy. They just want to have something going on, and that high line was there, and we saw what happened. So, unfortunate for some of those drivers, but we're almost halfway through. So, some big things we want to pay attention to. Josh Douglas is only one lap down now. Same thing with Dan Hughes and Martin Pinnell. So, can he get back and start battling for that last playoff spot? I think he can.
Did Josh get his lap back?
It looks -1 to me on the tracker.
Let's hope he did. He is currently on pit road. Wise move.
Now, my only question is was he ahead of the leader when he came down pit road? If he was, then he's going to be, he's still 2 laps. He is still 2 laps.
All right, so you've got Michael Whitney, Matt Allen. They're coming out of the pits. Alex Murphy, Tony Japs, Josh Douglas out. Martin Pinnell is out. But Eric Jeffers is your leader in the 12. Simon Bagdon is showing currently in P2. Jordan Wetzel in 3. Corey Bunch in 4. Jay Schultz in 5. Richard Mills in 6. Garrett Walden in 7th. Jeff Brogdon in 8th. Ty Bostic in 9th. And Vernon Broadbeck is in 10th. Now, interestingly enough, Jeff Brogdon in that 14, he started last. He's now up to 8th.
He is up to 8th. We'll see how this plays out for him as this race unfolds.
All right, again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. This is part of the iNASCAR Cup Series. This is the last race of their regular season. They now move into the playoffs. And John, I know we're covering a number of these playoff events for this series on Thursday night, so stay tuned over the next month or so as we will be broadcasting here on IWM.
I'm looking forward to it. I love this series. They've produced a lot of good racing, and I love the paint schemes too. So let's see if we can bring some more strong racing leagues to the IWM Broadcast Network. Great league, and a lot of action about to unfold, not only in this race, but future races as they make their way into the playoffs. Pace cars dropped off. Green flag back in the air for the 17. Make their way across the line and down into turn 1.
All right, we've restarted here at lap 39. Number of drivers in your leader. Be looking for pit stops. So Simon Bagdon, he did not come in on that round, so he pitted last Let's make a note of that on lap 28. Everybody else out there, I mean everybody, came in on lap 36. So he's the only guy on the
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That's an island you don't want to be on.
I mean, he's going to have to make a decision where he's going to have to pit with everybody else or be the lone soldier and
but he's
take
not
that,
going to make it.
And follow his own soul. Yeah, he won't make it at all.
Yeah, he's got 8 laps to the bad versus these leaders.
So, yeah, I mean, unless something happens or, we see another caution, he's going to have to be coming up pit road all by his lonesome, which is not a good sign, not a good feeling, because you need teammates. I mean, teamwork was the #1 way, and with him being, battling for a playoff spot, you do not want to be put in that position.
Looks like Ty Boston trying to get that outside line to go. If his damage was not as detrimental to that car as we had hoped, or he used his fast repair. These drivers
could have used it.
Do have a repair.
And there is Wenzel jumping in front of the 22 machine of Ty Bostic.
You can see this.
So, what happened in the back there? Somebody got a little bit of too big of a bump.
Looks like a slingshot. Not joining that group. It looked like that was the 42.
Yes, I think that was correct.
These guys are trying to work their way back up. They are running about 4 or 5 seconds behind. I think that was the 127 of Matt Allen. All right, we're back up front with our leaders in that second, and that outside line has formed up solidly.
We saw him last time with his outside line form. What happened? You got to have pushers that can push at the right points and know when to back off and have everybody, it's really a dance. You're dancing with everybody. It's really a chess match. I guess that's a better way to put it. And if you make a wrong move, it could affect somebody 3-4 cars behind you or 3-4 rows behind you.
Yeah, it's that domino effect pretty much. So we've got, we're just past the halfway point here. 43 laps are in the books. 37 laps to go. This is still anybody's race. Anybody can win this and get themselves in the playoffs.
And here comes that high line, led by the 81 of Jordan Wenzel with Ty Bostic behind him. Jared Audette. We'll see what they're able to do as they battle side by side into 3. Wenzel comes down right in front of the 12. That was a close call there for the 81 machine.
Ty Bostic slips towards the lead and now is shown as the leader. Does he stay up or does he drop down?
I'd prefer to stay. Well,
the 76 just said, if you're not going to go, I am, and just slipped out from beneath him and took over that low line.
Yes, he did, Ty. That was a sneaky move there by Jared Audette. Yeah. Puts him in the lead, though. Hey, that's what it takes in super speedways. You got to be able to make the moves at the right time to put yourself out front.
Well, especially if you're going to grab an extra point or two to lead a lap, take that opportunity.
Beautiful sunny day here in Daytona. Oh, some action in the mid-pack. That's all the same thing.
Yeah, just a little dancing in the back there. I think that was the 01. Travis Bennett decided high line's not for him. I'm going to go down and take over that low line. Slide in there.
I will strongly agree. I will agree with you. This high line seems to be just a little bit too disorganized. They're making moves, though. If anybody wants to go to the high line to make a move, that's the place to do it. So that's what's shown now with just 34 laps to go. How long can they go on this tank of gas? When do people start coming down pit road, Rick? It's going to be pretty soon here.
Well, 36 laps. You've got to see about 20. That's lap 56. So I think we're 10 laps away. Now that's going to be different from Simon Magden in the 17. He's going to have to be thinking about, when do I pit? I'm guessing in the next 3 laps.
It's going to come soon. He's going to have to break away. He's hoping for a caution or hoping for something else to happen. But it's I don't know if it will. I think it's going to be a matter of him just having to bite the bullet there and come down pit road, unfortunately. So we'll see what happens as it makes their way around.
He's currently running that low line right now, so if he needs to dump out and jump out and move down pit road, he can. But you're right, he's waiting for someone else to make a mistake, not in front of him. So Jared Audette continues to lead here at Daytona in the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Got Jordan Wenzel, Eric Jeffers, Corey Bunch, Richard Mills, Ty Bostic, Simon Madigan, Garrett Walden, Travis Bennett, Scott Thomas. That's your top 10. And as soon as I say that, it's going to change 2 and 3 times. We do have Michael Whitley was on pit road. Lap 48, these guys know that they're coming up. So they pitted last on lap 36. So let's assume they get 22 laps per tank. That's lap 58. And if you get 22 laps in a tank, that takes you exactly to 80 with one more stop.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. Somebody's going to have to make that decision, Rick. You know, with just about 30 to go. It's a close one. I mean, you're looking at it's one of those decisions where, okay, what do you do? Do you take the risk of trying to make it? I mean, I don't think you can make it on just one unless you have a caution. But I mean, Rick, the way these guys are driving, my racing senses, I guess you could say they're like spidey senses, I feel like we're going to get a wreck sometime between now and the end of the race, which is going to definitely play into some of the strategy with some of these guys. With the way that these guys are battling, I mean, it's playing out to be one of those races where we may see something happen. So will it be in the next 6 laps or 8 laps? Maybe. I don't want it to happen, but that's definitely going to be a big point of emphasis. If we do get a caution within the last 20 laps, everybody's going to come down pit road, make sure they top off on fuel, and make it to the end here. As we see the high line, Rick, we got another big push by Ty Bostic to the 01 machine of Travis Bennett, trying to push him to the lead.
Yeah, one of the things that these drivers take into consideration is the fact that, you know, if you're out front, contact with the wall. If you're out front, you're burning more fuel than if you're hanging back behind you. It may not be huge, but it could amount to a lap or 2.
You're exactly correct.
"29 laps to go, 51 laps in the books, and again, we're looking for that 17. Eventually, that tank is going to go dry.
It's going to go dry, and it could go dry very quickly, Rick. So we'll see how he's able to make it if he can. I mean, it's going to be a really tough decision and tough moment for that driver and that team. If these guys continue going in the right direction, Rick, it's getting pretty antsy. A lot of moves being made. So can we make it to that point? I don't know.
So he's got 23, 24 laps right now on that tank. He did have a yellow, so that's not quite fair to calculate might stay out on that, so he could probably gain an extra lap or two. But I'm expecting to see the 17 down next time by or soon. My best calculation has to be 5 laps. That's lap 53. Not that time, so they must have had that, you know, that extra large fuel line that's in that car is.
Gotta go to some post-race inspection.
Yeah.
Think somebody's trying to get him back in the booth here. Not in the booth, but in the back of the hauler. See what's going on with that car, because that is a lot of laps on that tank.
Again, eventually it's going to be a. So, but again, at each time he comes by, there it is. There's the 17 coming down.
Yep, he had to do it. It was about time, and that's the move. So 17 down pit road with 26 laps to go here at the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Don't miss a thing. Don't go away because the action's just about to heat up. Pit stop's underway for some of these guys, but I think it's going to be coming here in the next 5 or 6 laps for the rest of the field.
So if Simon pitted here, everybody else pitted lap 36. That's got us at 60, lap 60.
Outright, about what we were thinking. So we'll see who comes down pit road first and who comes down pit road maybe a little bit off sequence, but 20 laps seems to be the magic number.
Well, if it is truly 20 laps and it did start from a yellow restart, then it's probably going to wind up being soon.
Soon and very soon, I would say.
.26 laps to go. We're expecting this entire field on pit road very soon for what could be their last pit stop of the day. That's a make or break for these guys. Your leader, Travis Bennett, in the 01. He's leading that low line. He's got a pretty good push behind him with Jared Audette.
More blinking going on, Rick. You never want to see that at the super speedway. It's one of the most dangerous places to blink.
So with 25 laps to go, these guys know that they cannot make it 25 if they're going to come down under green flag conditions. That's going to affect how much mileage they'll get out of this tank, because it's one thing to come down in yellow flag conditions, refuel, get back out, play with your start with your motor and turn it on and off. A couple guys coming down the road, that's Scott Thomas and Josh Douglas. But
yeah,
under green flag conditions, you're flat out all the way, so you've got to get almost close that 50, waggle the bit, almost took out the door of the 12.
Yeah, if a caution comes out now, it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys end up doing.
They're completing your lap 24 here.
Oh, Jeffers out of gas. Jeffers is out of gas. And we're wrecking, maybe. The 12 is out of gas, I believe, Rick.
Well, everybody chose to pit. Now here comes your leaders now on pit road. Caution is not out. We are under green flag conditions. 23 laps to go, and your leaders are on pit road.
That could have been catastrophic, Rick. That could have been...
yeah, we're still under green here.
Yep.
Ty Bostic is the first one off. But you still got Garrett Walden, Jerome Broadbeck, Brogdon, Thomas, and Jeremy Briggs, who have not pitted yet. Now they're coming down. Now the balance of the field is headed down. Again, we are under green flag conditions, so these guys are pretty much getting a stop and a go. They're coming in and they're not worried about tires. It's all about getting fuel in the tank.
Exactly. That's what you have to do.
So that being said, as Ty Bostic makes his way around, he takes over the lead. Travis Bennett is currently scored in second. Oh, Ty Bostic is getting abandoned. I think he's going to drop his way back behind Travis Bennett. Actually behind Corey Bunch. Not exactly sure what happened there, but you know.
Not sure. Not sure. I have to go back and see what happens.
But these guys have run together all season. I think Ty is relatively new to this league, so we've seen Travis Bennett's names. You know, he's currently got 5 wins on the season. You've got Jordan Wetzel in second right now. He's got 5. I'm sorry. Travis Bennett has 5. Jordan Wetzel has 4 wins. Corey Bunch is right there. He's got 2 wins. So that is a pack of former winners right now, or previous winners so far this season that have taken over with 21 laps to go. And really have a 4-car breakaway. Balance the field trying to run them down, but they're full 5 seconds behind. All right, jumping back, that's Travis Audette now currently showing back there. Jeff Brogdon, 14. Got Vernon Broadbeck right there in the 10. Followed by Garrett Walden and Jay Schultz right there at the tail end of this pack. So this is 6 cars. You got 5 cars out front, 6 cars here, and then the balance of the field is trying to make it up from behind. They are another couple seconds back behind this group. And Scott Thomas, I think, is this leader here. Now that's got Josh Douglas in it as well.
A lot of
been able to get his lap.
No, I mean that's tough. 2 laps down, it's just hard to do when there's not many cautions. And that's where we are right now with Travis Bennett out front and Wenzel, Bunch, Bostic there, the top 5. Jeff Brogdon have 18 spots in P5. Could Broadbeck get that spot? It's right now the difference is currently 15 spots, so Broadbeck, it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
So these guys are running nose to tail. They're experienced drivers here with previous wins. They know how to get things done, and they're just expanding the gap between the group behind them. They're now a full 7 seconds ahead of the group behind them with 18 laps to go. All right, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast here of the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. We ask that if you could, like and follow along whatever stream you're watching on, YouTube, Facebook, and stay up to date on what happens here on future races that we cover in the iNASCAR series, and also other events like our Wednesday night series with the tech trips that race series is now about to enter the playoffs, and they've got some. I guess next week we are at Kentucky, followed by Coda and Bristol. That's their playoff series races.
It's going to be fun. Going to be a good couple weeks to watch.
Absolutely. And so we'll try to get you an update here as to what the races that we're covering here. So we're actually going to cover their first playoff elimination race on September 14th. That will be in the iNASCAR League at Bristol. That's round 1 elimination. We'll also cover their round 2 elimination. That'll be at the Roval on October 5th. And then the round 3 elimination on October 26th. That's at Martinsville. And then we have the honor of broadcasting in November, on November 2nd, in Phoenix, their championship race.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be a heck of a couple events to cover there. Excited to do that. That's going to be a great series of events coming through. So love to see that. It's going to be awesome.
15 laps to go here at Daytona. Commanding lead with Travis Bennett, Jordan Wenzel, Corey Bunch, and Ty Bostic. They have got nearly a 9-second gap over the group behind them. But my guess is, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, that when we're coming to the finish line, it's going to be all bets are off. We may be 4 wide coming to the finish line.
Oh, we're going to be 4 wide for sure. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I can guarantee you. Somebody's going to get spun out, and somebody's not going to be happy, but somebody's going to walk home with a win. So who is that going to be? Is it going to be Bennett, Wenzel, Bunch? Could it be Bostic? Could it be somebody in the back? Who knows? I mean, it's all up for grabs.
Again, those top 3 guys, they've all got wins. They're already in the playoffs. Bostic in 4th. He's not. He does not have a win. He's the new guy. Try to set himself up for a way to point himself in or win himself in. You can see the leaders now working their way through some lap traffic. On some lap down cars. That is the 94 of Michael Whitley in that Krispy Kreme Ford. But your leader continues to be Travis Bennett in the 01 Ford Performance. A little bit of lag, a lot of Jordan Wenzel behind him. Easy to do on this track. It is so easy to get caught as you come out of that corner.
It's going to happen. It can happen out of any corner. So glad to see they're able to keep going the right direction.
So those 3 leaders, I believe, Travis Bennett, Jordan Wenzel, Corey Bunch, those guys are all part of Full Throttle. So they are teammates, and you can tell just in the way they're racing each other.
Absolutely, you can. Absolutely.
Just over 11 laps to go before we crown a winner here.
11 to go. Still a lot of interesting strategies playing out here, but the front four have not changed. Bennett, Wenzel, Bunch, Bostic. We're looking at playoff implications. You know, Bennett has 5 wins on the season. Wenzel has 4 wins on the season. Bunch has 2 wins on the season. Bostic has not won a race. So Bostic looking for his first win in the series. Could be a good time to get that going. So we'll see what his day and what his strategy looks like with 10 to go.
So looking back in the field, this is 5th place of Garrett Walden, Martin Giroux, Jay Schultz, Jared Audette, part of this group as well. Well, the leaders are in. Leaders are in on pit road.
There we go. There's the call. Leaders coming down pit road this time.
With 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go. Leaders are on pit road, and we'll see what's coming out of this group here.
You don't need a full tank of fuel. You got 9 laps.
No, you don't. We'll see who has the right call.
That's Travis Bennett out front. With the 81 of Jordan Wetzel behind him, the 93 of Corey Bunch. They went in as they came out as they went in. So, except I think possibly Ty Bostic's. Yep, he may have dropped a spot. I'm not sure exactly who is ahead of him. Following group is now in. You're now coming down pit road. It's pretty much just a splash and go.
Yo, tires. I like
gosh.
that. That's not good, Rick. That's going to cost you some time.
Yep, that's the 27 of Jay Schultz, who took tires with 8 laps to go.
I wonder why.
Not sure. So right now your leader is currently scored as Eric Jeffers, Richard Mills. Neither of these 2 guys have been down pit road as of yet. Expect to see them down shortly. And then that will cycle Jordan Wenzel up to the lead. Looks like Travis Bennett has stepped back. Or Jordan got by. So this should be an interesting drama as these guys make their way with 7 laps here to go at Daytona.
Should be interesting drama, like you said. So we'll see how this plays out and who's going to bring it home. I mean, it's a strategy call here. 6 to go.
Well, they are a breakaway. Of course, the 2 cars of Jeffers and Mills have not made their way down pit road. They've been last on lap 57. They are due, or they're going to run out of gas. These guys have got a pretty good gap, I think, over Bostic. Currently showing in 6th place.
6th place for Bostic, and currently 4.6 seconds back.
Let's bring up that track map and highlight Jeffers. Jeffers is in that 12 car. You can see him, he's got that on the track map, that's the track. The car number 12 is circled in lime green. He is in the middle of the backstretch with 5 laps to go. Can they make it on fuel?
It's close. It's another one of those decisions where I wouldn't want to be making it. but it will be a close run to the end. For sure.
Right behind them is that group of Jordan Wenzel, Corey Bunch. Nope, they're in. They're coming down. They could not do it. I think they stayed out as long as they could, hoping for a caution. It didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Here they come out of turn 4. These are going to be the leaders. As long as no cautions come out, this could be your top 3. Jordan Wenzel, Corey Bunch, and Travis Bennett assume the podium spots with 4 laps to go.
That's it. 4 laps to go here at Daytona in the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Again, we appreciate you tuning in tonight, whether you're watching this live or you'll watch it recorded at a later date. We ask that you like and subscribe to our channel so you stay on top of what's happening in the IWF broadcast world, so we can bring you other events just like tonight. Gosh, these guys really have a gap between themselves and 4th place in Boston. And he's by himself. He's got 16 seconds with the group behind him, but leading that group behind Ty Bostic. While we have a few seconds left, he's out there by himself. Well, he's got a little bit of help with the lap down car. That is Michael Whitley. Now, and this has the playoff implications here. Vernon Broadbeck is in 5th. He is leading this pack.
Josh Douglas is in 21st. So by net positions, Vernon Broadbeck would be in. Now, we don't have any control over the points. We would have to see that until the points come out here in the next few days. But as it stands, Vernon would be locked in. Coming
just
to
a couple points.
Yep, just a couple points. That's all it takes.
He's got
Here
the
we go.
14 behind him. So 2 laps to go. Let's jump back up to our leaders. And now we're seeing the dance occur.
The dance has commenced, and we're about to see what happens. There's the 01 looking for
Jordan Wenzel is currently showing out in front, the 81. Corey Bunch is filled in 2nd. The 01 of Travis Bennett is now in 3rd.
Here we go. White flag in the air here at Daytona. Last lap. Who is going to bring it home?
Yep, you've got the that 4th car that's in that pack is Josh Douglas.
And there's the move. There goes Corey Bunch. Now, is this going to be too early? Is this too early of a move, Rick?
Final lap.
I think it's too early. I think Jordan Wenzel's going to get a major run coming out of turn 4 with these guys battling. We'll see what happens with Wenzel. But in the lead, you have Corey Bunch leading Travis Bennett. Here comes Travis Bennett, possibly to the outside.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
They block. Here comes Jordan Wenzel down. Jordan Wenzel goes down below the double yellow line. Not able to get it done, so that means Corey Bunch will win tonight's iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200.
What a great finish. Congratulations to Corey Bunch. You won't have the rest of that finish and finishing Aaron Jeffers. I should have possibly some crashing back in the field.
Something's going on back there.
Yep, big wreck at the tail end.
Cars flipping up in the air.
A lot of wrecks in the back of the field.
But one individual who did not wreck was Vernon Broadbeck, who finishes 5th. Looks like he could be locked in to the playoffs by 2 points.
All right, we're waiting for the finish. There's the checkered flag and the flagman waving it out there as soon as we... And you know, there's a good team photo for these guys. Congratulations.
Absolutely. What a race. What a race by these guys.
Really textbook racing here at a super speedway. All right, while they're celebrating their victory, let's go ahead and bring up the results.
Let's do it. All right, with the win tonight, Corey Bunch there for Full Throttle. And second, another Full Throttle driver, Travis Bennett. And third, another Full Throttle driver occupying the podium spots, Jordan Wenzel. In fourth, you have Ty Bostic. Vernon Broadbeck finishes in fifth. Jeff Brogdon in sixth. Simon Magin finishes in seventh. Jai Schultz finishing in eighth. Martin Giroux in ninth. And Matt Allen rounds out your top 10.
Richard Mills finishes in 11th. Jeremy Briggs in 12th. Garrett Walden in 13th. Eric Jeffers in 14th. Michael Whitley finishes in 15th. Scott Thomas in 16th. Jared Audette in 17th. Tony Japs finishes in 18th. Rest of your finishing order is Alex Murphy in 19th. Eric Thomas finishes in 20th. Josh Douglas finishes in 21st. Martin Fidel in 22nd. And Dan Hughes in 23rd. Well, you can see these guys are celebrating.
As they should be. As they should be.
Yep, you're watching Corey Bunch burning down the house. And we'll give those drivers a minute or two, and then we'll look for them in our race lobby. We'll get a chance to speak to those podium drivers. So really a heck of a race here with the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200 and really the iNASCAR Cup Series. These guys have really just put on a great show for the viewers tonight.
Great race and a great event to watch and cover. Love that we're able to partner with them and hopefully in the future bring you a lot more future broadcasts after this season with the iNASCAR guys. So let's see. We're trying to get some of these guys up here in the booth for some interviews. Obviously, a great team win by these guys tonight. Full Throttle Motorsports, stranglehold on the field, proves to why they're one of the best.
All right, let's see if we can grab Mr. Jordan Wenzel. He finishes P3. Let's see if we can move him to the broadcast booth. Jordan, congratulations on your P3 finish and a great showing by the Full Throttle Motorsports team.
Well, I think, yeah, I was doing a bunch of the pit strategy here and just kind of yelling it at all the guys, and we all realized at the end we were about a quarter of a gallon short, and we're like, we can't save enough to get to the end, so we're all going to pit early, and then we heard everybody else was pitting, and it's like, oh, we've got this in the bag, and then coming to the end, I knew I wasn't going to be able to win this because I'm like, they're both cracking the throttle so much that they're falling off. And I'm like, I can try what I can. And then I was kind of hoping that the lap car would try to make it an interesting battle and push me. But he went around, and I'm like, oh, well, that's my race. And so at least I won the regular season championship. So that's what I got going for me right here.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on that. And now we enter the playoffs. It should be a very interesting round.
Yeah, I think I'll be fine. There's so many buffer drivers in this one that I think I'll have like 30-something points now. So I won't have to worry too much about this round, but it's going to be the future ones. And out of all the guys that were in the top 3 of points here, I'm the one that's doing the worst for points or playoff points for them.
Well, any shout outs tonight?
As always, I got to give a shout out to all the guys on the team, Corey, Travis, Eric, Michael, Tony. They all do good. They practiced a bit, I think, for this, and then the rest of the 3 of us that weren't here they all kind of got messed up. So it was just the 3 of us at the end.
Well, it was again, congratulations on your P3 finish, and we've just brought in your teammate Travis Bennett. Travis, congratulations right there at the end.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
So as you guys are coming to the, you're making your last few laps. You guys are teammates. Thoughts? Any conversations on the radio between the 3 of you?
Oh, it was pretty quiet. I have to say that. I don't know. Corey and Jordan were talking about before they caught up to the leaders after we pit. whether they push or not. And I didn't think I took enough fuel, so I immediately bailed and went to the back of our little 3-car line there, and that was my fault there. I don't know how different the race would have panned out if I was able to stay up front, but it is what it is.
Well, congratulations on your P2 finish. As we begin to think about the playoffs, and we'll have the honor of covering you guys for your playoff elimination races. So we'll be there back to cover that. Any thoughts going into the playoffs?
Oh, I'd be lying if I say it's going to be easy. For sure, it's going to be all gas. For sure, you're going to have to attack all the time. I think we got a little bit of preview from that race we're going to have in Talladega too. Just kind of looking forward to that as well.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in our winner, Corey Bunch. Corey.
Yes, I love it.
Congratulations on your win. Great music entry there. I guess you had a soundtrack for your entry into the broadcast booth.
It was a long shot, but I was kind of hopeful. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out pretty good.
Well, again, congratulations on your win. Certainly, I'm sure that as the regular season is winding down, a win doesn't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that tight battle from 7th on to 12th, where I unfortunately missed Watkins Glen, it just got really tight. So I know from 7th, or I think what it is, at be at least in the top 10 to get bonus playoff points or so. So I want to try to make sure to be keeping that 7th place spot. So, and then getting a win, hey, I might move me up even more. So hey, I'll take it.
Absolutely. Any shout outs you like to throw out there with your victory?
Oh, absolutely. I got to thank Full Throttle Motorsports for all their help and their teamwork. It was pretty lucky for me, Jordan, and Travis to get together and work together like we have been. And I think it was nice of Jordan to pull over, since I let him help him out win Dega earlier this year. So
no pulling over there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was just a great effort. And then I'm trying to think of what else up there too. I'm supposed to get a trophy or something like that. I don't know.
Take it, yeah.
That was not on my mind whatsoever.
So my understanding is that there's a lot of popcorn coming to you.
hey, I'll take that too.
Yeah, in fact, I believe
that popcorn.
Well, I think there was if I'm not mistaken, there is a huge trophy as well that's coming to you as the winner.
Shoot, yeah, I'll take it. But like I was going to say too, is like the trophy and then the popcorn stuff. It didn't really come into mind because, to be honest with you, I really didn't have the mindset of I wasn't going to win the race. That's usually how my super speedway luck is. I usually finish like top 5 or so because I'm usually too busy helping a teammate out. But so this is different for me. So hey, I'll take it.
Well, congratulations, guys. Certainly, you earned it. That last 25 or so laps was a clinic on drafting between the three of you. I guess you had Ty Bostic in there as well. Really just incredibly demonstrating how far you can move ahead of a pack if you work together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was I guess just when us three of us guys, or even like with sometimes like Eric, he had his misfortunes, but I'm sure Eric would have been up there as well, if not had his issues with his computer and stuff.
Well, we've got a couple other guys. Well, I guess they left. Guess Josh was down there. Josh was on the bubble, and Vernon Broadbeck was right behind him. I think our calculations in the booth, we could be off, but I think that's possible that Vernon did move up over Josh Douglas and pointed his way into your playoffs. So.
Yeah. He's been stepped up a little bit, so I'm proud of Vernon there. Getting up in that wheel and racing his way in. So that's good.
All right, so that's it for tonight here at the iNASCAR Pitstop Popcorn 200. Your winner, Corey Bunch, enjoyed on the podium with Travis Bennett and Jordan Wetzel. This finishes their regular season, and now we move into the playoffs. Congratulations to the racers tonight, and we'll see you again in a few weeks when we pick you up back for your Bristol elimination race.
All righty, see you, folks.
Sure.
All right,
See you guys.
thank you all
See
for
ya.
tuning in, and have a great night.